Hello everyone, Norman from Tormach, and today we wanted to do a video going over an application of making a part. We didn't really want to focus on the part too much. We more wanted to keep in mind the process of selecting a machine, the tooling, and the work holding, keeping in mind the operator and the environment that the machine is going to be used in. So the part that we're doing today is just a tensile bar sample. This happens to be a rectangular one, though there are several different standards with different shapes. And this material that we're doing today is 303 stainless steel. So this is a fairly simple part, so we don't want to get too into the weeds of this specific part, but we wanted to look at the fixturing first. Obviously, you could use a simple vise like you'd use with most of your parts and cut a set of soft jaws so that you'd have access around it to cut the entire side profile. But for tensile bars specifically, these are typically in environments where the person using the machine is not a machinist. They don't have a lot of experience with selecting speeds and feeds and fixturing. So we wanted to eliminate the possibility of there being errors in case they put the part slightly off to the side or they don't clamp the vise with enough torque and send the part flying, which obviously is a scenario you want to avoid. So this is just one design of a fixture that we came up with that has several elements that eliminate the possibility of those errors being present. So first, we have a couple of dowel pins in here. So anytime somebody wants to put a part in here, all they have to do is line up the part with the dowel pins and slightly push against it. And that's going to just register against the edge of the dowel pin there, and that'll be very repeatable. Obviously, for this type of part, a tensile bar, exact accuracy isn't needed, but we do want to be within the ballpark of the correct position. Another element we have on here are these pads that the part is resting on. We don't specifically need 7 of them. I just wanted to add as many in here to have as much surface area for the part to sit on. And then once we have the part in place, we have a couple of clamps that once they latch in place, that's all that's holding the part. So no torque value needed, very easy to see if this is fully locked in place with this latch on the bottom, like so. And then on the bottom of the fixture, there's also a couple of locating elements. So if this ever does need to be removed from the machine, then you can just drop it in and you're within a couple thousandths of the position where it was. You don't have to worry about rotational alignment. Obviously, you can slide along the T-slot itself, so you will have to find your work coordinate just like normal. But the idea is that this fixture never would come out of the machine. Typically with tensile bars, that's all the machine is used for. So that's our fixture, fairly simple in design, just adding up a couple different elements. These clamps are very standard. There's a local supply house I got these from. Let's look at our tool holding as well. Obviously, very, very simple profile on this part. All we're doing is using the side of a tool. We don't even have to clear off the top or bottom. So we're only using one tool here. I would actually like to use 2 tools, especially since this is stainless. This leaves a very sharp edge that is possible to cut your finger on. So I would like to deburr that. However, since this is such a simple application, one of the things I wanted to keep in mind was keeping the cost of the machine down as much as possible. So with such a simple profile that we can use in only one tool, that means we don't need an automatic tool changer, and that reduces the cost of the machine. So it would be very, very helpful if we could deburr this, and I would prefer doing that. It's obviously not required though. The tool we're using is just a simple end mill. This happens to be a 3/8 5-flute version. I did specifically want to use a tool with a Weldon flat on it, keeping in mind that operators of the machine are not very experienced machinists. I wanted to have a Weldon flat on here along with a end mill holder. That gives a target location for how far you're inserting the tool into the holder. So your length of the tool it doesn't have to be exact. You're going to be within a ballpark. And combined with the raised pads that we have on our fixture here, if you're a little bit long on your tool length, that's not going to matter because we have plenty of clearance underneath the part for the bottom edge of the tool. So these tools happen to be from a company called Fraser. I just happen to like them personally. They make very good tools in my experience. Most tooling companies are going to have something like this sheet or an equivalent in their catalog where they'll give you some basic speeds and feeds information for a starting point. So for example, on here, we have a recommended feed per tooth of just under 7 thousandths and a depth of cut of 0.825 and a width of cut of 19 thousandths. So one thing to keep in mind is, depending on which machine you're using, this is just a starting point. You can go faster, you can go slower, it just depends. These numbers I initially took and put them in our 1500 MX, and that worked perfectly fine. I could even bump up the feed rate from there. However, we are using a 770 MX here, and because it is a smaller, lighter, and less powerful machine, I did have to back off our speeds and feeds. In particular, I am doing 2 depths of cut on this. And for this application, having to reduce the speeds and feeds doesn't matter all that much. We're not trying to hold any specific cycle time. If it takes a little bit longer, that's not a big deal. So why choose the 770 MX? Simply because of the environment it's going into. For tensile bar samples, typically this is in a lab environment or some kind of testing company where 220 volts may not be readily available. And even if it is, they're typically fairly compact environments. They want to get as much equipment crammed into a space as possible. So the 770 MX, one, uses our BT30 tool holders that are very repeatable and also runs on 120 volts. So even if our cycle takes a little bit longer, we're going to be able to get it done very accurately still. So with that being said, let's move on and show you guys a little bit of the machining that we're doing, and then we'll show you one of the parts coming off the machine. So the programming for this is very simple. We just have a 2D adaptive on each side of the part. And in this case, we're going at 2 different depths. And then we come back and we finish with a 2D contour on each side, and again, 2 different depths with that.
Beautiful.
So there's our finished part. Again, the part itself is very simple. We just wanted to show off the process of tool holding, work holding, and the machine itself. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Our number is 608-849-8381. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching our video. If you like this content, please make sure to subscribe. If you want to find out more about Tormach CNC machines, please visit us at tormach.com. If you're new to Tormach, here's what sets us apart. Tormach CNC mills, lathes, bandsaws, and routers are a great solution for rapid prototyping and small-scale production. If you want to start making a product or launch a business, you'll probably find that Tormach machines are a great fit for your needs. They also work really well for a variety of industries, including prototyping, product development, education, aerospace, robotics, and medical manufacturing. And they're perfect for hobbyists too. All of Tormach's machines run at standard single-phase power, so they're perfect for small shops, home garages, or maker spaces, without the need for expensive electrical upgrades. Every Tormach machine also comes with PathPilot, our CNC control software. Every feature is included, even high-speed milling and look-ahead trajectory planning. PathPilot is powerful yet easy to use, and best of all, every feature is included for free. Our machines are also built with modularity in mind. That means you can start with a base system and add features as your business grows, like our MicroArc 4th axis system, an automatic tool changer, lubrication systems, and even through-spindle coolant on our 1500MX. And unlike other CNC machine tool companies, Tormach believes in the right to repair and full transparency. Every machine is designed so that you can assemble, maintain, and repair it yourself. Or, if you prefer, have it pre-assembled and installed by a Tormach professional. Plus, Tormach customers get the support they need with US-based technical support and a knowledgeable team ready to help. The Tormach forums are another big part of the Tormach experience. If that sounds like the kind of company you'd want to partner with, we'd love to have you join the Tormach community. Thanks for watching, and happy milling.